All right, hopefully when I switch screens, it'll catch it. Otherwise, we'll see what happens. All right, Cameron, go ahead and start us off with a prayer. We're going to need it.
Dear Heavenly Father, we are so thankful for this beautiful day and to be able to meet as a class online. We're thankful for the technology that has been provided to us to be able to do this and for the learning experience we're about to have. We ask Thee, Father, that Thou please bless us with Thy Holy Spirit to enlighten our minds and help us stay focused. Please bless those who are having technical difficulties right now, that they can have those problems resolved. We ask Thee, Father, that Thou please bless all of Thy children around the world who have experienced disasters or storms, that they may be protected and watched over at this time. And we ask Thee that Thou may help us have a good experience in this short time we have together. And we ask for these many blessings in the name of Jesus Christ. Amen.
Amen.
Let me unmute. Amen. Thank you so much, Cameron. Man, this is cool. I love seeing your faces. Normally it's just voices. Okay, so go ahead and keep jotting down in the chat your favorite actor. I've got 2 people texting me. I want to just text back to them real quick and make sure that they can get in, and then we will get started. Looks like you have to type in the code, and I think the code is my phone number, so I'm hoping that they can all get in. Thank you for your patience. I'm just going to send this to them real quick, so hopefully they can get in. Somebody sent a screenshot. By the way, screenshots are so helpful. And Cameron, I so appreciate your prayer when you prayed for the technology issues. Oh, Tom Hanks and Tom Selleck. Awesome. Good ones. Okay, so if you're just adding, they're typing their favorite actors or actresses in the chat. And I am going to attempt to share my screen with you. And I will need you guys to just give me feedback as we go. If there's an issue where you're not seeing or not hearing, pipe up, because this is my first go with this. So, except for our little mini chat with a few of you last week in our informal little, let's see. Okay, share my screen. Sorry, I can only focus on one thing. All right, so I just have been going through your Explore assignments, and it's kind of fun. Some of you love science, some of you, I can't even say it, hate science, don't like science. So we've got the whole spectrum. And I hope that each of you, lovers or not so much science lovers, find something that lights your fire within our content. Science is all around us. And I think as you go through this class, you're going to start to see the world a little bit differently, or a little more from a science perspective. Maybe you're going to start to ask questions, or maybe you're going to start to think, okay, is this information valid? So if you look in the news all around us, we've got climate change, we've got Ebola. These are a couple of years old. I should update this, but we've got natural disasters happening everywhere. Who's heard of GMOs and who's afraid of them, and who knows nothing about them? I see this everywhere. The future looks hotter. Senators vote to block use of secret science. Maybe things would not be so secret or confusing if we understood it a little bit. Or how about this? Decline in U.S. science spending threatens the economy and security. Interesting, huh? So all over, 224 foreign companies attend a Health for All Scientific Commercial Fair in Cuba. So we've got this is touching the world. It's business, economics, international affairs, all over. And how about every time you go to the doctor? Helps to understand what they're trying to say, right? Or every time that you try and maybe you're trying to lose weight or be more efficient in studying. There is scientific research to support that, or to not, or maybe there isn't. And it's important to be scientifically literate, if nothing else, to understand and to be a good voter. I think this slide right here kind of blows me away a little bit. I'm going to let you guys read it while I check these texts real quick. I'm so sorry. I will not normally have my phone on me, but it's your classmates. Okay, so read through that. Okay. Any of you guys in the classroom now, just getting any of you guys that have texted me, are you in the class now, hopefully? Okay, perfect. Somebody's in just working on the sound. All right, so hopefully you read through this. So Canada ranks #1 in US in literacy and science literacy. And then we ask this question, questions like, does the sun go around the earth, or does the earth go around the sun? And the poignant part that I want to bring out is right here. While 87% knowing that the earth goes around the sun is pretty good, that still leaves 13% of Canadians, again, in the first ranked country, that haven't absorbed scientific knowledge from centuries ago. Pretty crazy. This is something that we kind of figured out a really long time ago. And still, there's a lot of people who don't know this basic science. It's very, very important. Sometimes it's controversial. We've got climate change. We're going to talk about autism and vaccinations. If that's an issue for you, feel free to touch bases with me beforehand. We're going to talk about evolution. These are heated topics, and it's really important to understand them, especially if you're going to take a side and get on, be involved in politics and in your community in making decisions. It's important to be informed. Okay, I love this image, and I think this little tiny dot should be very, very tiny, much more tiny than we can show here. But the big oval represents all truth, and then the small little circle represents what humankind knows. We are constantly learning, constantly growing and increasing in our technology abilities. But what we know is really only a speck of the truth that's out there to learn, right? Okay, so we're going to look at a fun little experiment. And what we're going to do is we're going to kind of try and funnel it down. So I'm going to show you a video, and I want you to jot down your observations. But first, I'm going to let this guy share. Hopefully the recording is recording video where the screen where this is. Okay. Let me... Okay, can you guys see the video? Probably not.
No.
I'm going to switch.
I hear the music, though.
All right, I'm going to move it over. Ah, come on. Okay, now you can see it, right?
Oh, yeah, there it is.
Okay, thanks for miking up. Here we go.
Hi, I'm Brother Pettit, and today we're going to be talking about the scientific process. We'll be doing a little exercise here to help you understand these principles a little bit better. So if you remember from class, we use this funnel to help us understand the principle of pursuit of scientific truth. So here at the top is where we generate our hypotheses. And we generate these hypotheses by making observations of the natural world and then doing our best to explain them, give possible explanations for why it is they're happening. Then through the process of experimentation, we will eliminate these hypotheses and hopefully be able to come to an understanding down here at the bottom of the funnel of what is actually going on. For today, we're going to be using termites as our live organism, and we're going to be observing their behavior in some certain situations and then doing some experiments to try and understand better what's causing them to do that. So if we take a look here at termites, We can show you what they're doing. Look at them crawling around in there.
Okay, so that's the first little intro video. So termites, I'm going to show you another video. And in the chat, I want you to jot down what you think is happening. And then we're going to kind of work on some hypotheses together. So, okay, I want to see the chat fired up as soon as you see.
Draw a blue circle here. We'll drop the termites in the middle and see what they do.
Okay, observations. What are you seeing?
They're walking on the line.
Okay, good. They're walking on the line. Anything else? They follow the line. They're following each other. Okay, so we're going to do a little brainstorming here. And so we've got this observation. We see the termites following the line, and we want to narrow it down. We're probably, like Elder Scott said, we're not necessarily going to get to absolute truth, but we can narrow it down and kind of come closer to a more accurate explanation of what we think is happening. So what are some explanations? Why are they following the line? Mic up or jot down in the chat. They smell the ink. They're trying to interact with the line. Beautiful. They like circles. Again, feel free to mic up. They're playing follow the leader.
The circle was similar to the dish that the man had that they were in from before, so it's what they were used to.
Oh, okay.
Also, in wood, they make circular bowls, and so following that pattern of what their environment is in.
Okay, those are two hypotheses I have never heard before. I have had over a couple thousands of students, and I've never heard somebody say follow the Petri dish, which that's a cool idea, or because it's what they do in the environment. I love it. Great thinking. Okay, so we're gonna put up a couple of ideas, and I'm actually gonna let this guy do the talking for us.
Your hypothesis list probably looks something like this. Maybe those termites are detecting this circle using their sense of sight or vision. Perhaps they're using their sense of smell to kind of sense where that is. Maybe they're actually tasting the circle and following it that way. Perhaps they're using their sense of touch to feel around and follow a ridge that the pen creates. And it also could be that there's some social behavior these termites use naturally to follow each other in a circle. Now, in most organisms, including in termites, our senses of smell and taste are done by the same kinds of chemical receptors. So we're going to combine these two. Now, I'd like you to take a moment and refine your list of hypotheses.
Okay, so we had taste and smell, which kind of go together because they're basically the same thing for these guys. We've got touch, we've got vision, we've got social behaviors. We're going to watch a couple other videos and see if we can't narrow it down a little bit. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you an indentation. So this one.
So for this one,
if he just does an indentation, and they follow or don't follow, what can we learn from that? So there's no ink. It's just an indentation.
I'd go up. I'd prove or disprove touch.
Okay, perfect, Donna. You've got it. So let's see. Is it touch? And this is how we can figure
We're going to make an impression using the back of this little paintbrush. You can see there's a little indentation made it in the shape of a circle there. Now we'll drop the termites in the center of this little indentation and see how they interact with it.
Hey, I'm doing a school thing. I can't talk.
Okay, so are they following the indentation? All right, what do we think? Can we eliminate touch?
Yeah.
Yeah, no touch.
Okay, we're gonna do another one, a highlighter. This time with the highlighter.
So now we'll draw a circle.
What can we focus in on with the highlighter?
The smell and the vision.
Okay, perfect. Perfect. So smell is going to be a little bit different than the ink. And then we're also going to have the vision aspect. So if they follow the highlighter, we can keep going with the vision. If they don't follow it, maybe we need to dig a little deeper with the smell. Okay,
On
ready?
this piece of paper with a highlighter.
Okay.
And then drop some termites here in the center of the circle. Get them off of here.
Hello.
There they go. And now we'll see what they do.
Are you guys so curious? What's happening?
So take a minute now and record your observations on how the termites interacted with the highlighter circle.
Not sight.
Okay, so we eliminate sight and we eliminated touch.
It's so weird.
All right, what information do we need now to kind of hone in on smell?
Okay.
Oh, interesting, Cameron. So maybe we couldn't completely eliminate sight. We might need a little more experimentation. Interesting point. Okay, what we're going to do now is change up the color. All right, first voice I hear, do you want blue, or sorry, black, green, or?
Green.
Green. Okay.
Okay, now we'll draw a green circle.
Who thinks they're going to follow it?
And then drop a few termites in the center and see what they do.
What do you see? What are your thoughts?
Looks like they're following it.
Yeah. So where does that take us on our funnel here? What are we thinking as far as these hypotheses go? I'm just going to pull his hypotheses up and pause it. What do you think about vision? We could test that a little bit more, but I think we could, for the purposes of our class and our time frame, we can probably toss that. We can toss touch. We could do, and I want to keep, I don't want to keep you guys too long. So social behavior, we could test it with just one ant, or one termite, sorry. And if we just had one termite, I'll tell you, it would follow the line still. So what then can we assume?
Smell or taste.
Yeah, right. And so it turns out that it's actually a substance in ballpoint pens and some big pens that mimics a pheromone that they use to communicate. So that's an answer on your Explore quiz. Kind of cool, though, how we can take a couple of ideas, do a few simple tests, or in the case of science, sometimes it's really complicated tests, and sometimes they take a really, really long time. Like there was a nurse's study done that has used I don't even know how many nurses over their lifetime to look at different health factors. So long, short, complicated, simple. We ask questions, and then we try and find answers to those questions. Couple of things to note when we're dealing with science, we can check our approach by using this checklist here. Does it focus on the natural world? Science isn't going to deal with the supernatural, so that's where sometimes the line people get confused a little bit. But we're focusing on the natural world. We aim to explain the natural world. We use testable ideas. If an idea is testable, we can formulate an experiment. We can learn information about it. We rely on evidence. We involve the scientific community. That means other scientists, maybe in different fields or maybe in different countries, and we communicate and work together. It leads to ongoing research. So there's a lot more we could do to figure out about these, a little more information about these termites, about what's going on, and continue to ask questions. And then it benefits from scientific behavior. Scientific behavior to me would be like making good observations or just thinking scientifically, not being biased and such. So science, a couple of things about science I just want to note as we wrap things up here. It's a body of knowledge and a process. It's not necessarily, oh, Big Bang Theory, done, over, got it. But we continue to add information. And if the information and the data no longer support the theory, we adjust the theory. But it's this huge body of knowledge that we continue to add to. This is a science class, not a religious class, and again, it's going to focus on and is limited to the natural world. We have the added benefit of being able to bring in religion, which for me is awesome. And a lot of you noted that in your Explore quizzes. I enjoyed reading that. I taught public school, high school for 7 years, and it's interesting when you can't bring it up. There were times I would just say, "Look at this cell. This is incredible. Do you see the organization?" I'd get emotional talking about a cell, but you can't bring God into that conversation. But we do have the benefit of that, which is beautiful. So a couple of things about scientists: they must be willing to be proven wrong. Why do you think that's important? These are points to ponder. Feel free to jot down in the chat. Feel free to write these on the questions and conversations board. We used to have an Explore discussion board that's been taken out, where you talk about these, but now you can just kind of ponder them and think about them and participate if you would like to. Why is science done as part of a community? Are there shortcuts to the scientific method? These are also questions that we address throughout the course, but I want to end with this awesome quote by Brigham Young. I want to say to my friends that we believe in all good. If you can find a truth in heaven, earth, or hell, it belongs in our doctrine. We believe it. It's ours. We claim it. Sounds like the 13th article of faith, doesn't it? You guys, this is going to be fun. I love how in this course we get to kind of see what science is, what its limitations are, and what its strengths are, and how we can use it in our life. And then, so the first half of the class, we're going to focus on learning how to validate claims. There's going to be a little bit of a group project, only one, and it is actually really cool because you get to simulate this scientific community process. And then after that, we are going to, starting in lesson 7, I think, we're going to go through different content areas, and we're going to look at different science theories and different aspects of science and how we see like community involvement or creativity or exploration and discovery through different major theories in science. So it's a lot of fun. You guys are doing fantastically so far. Couple of things I want to note. So this is more like housekeeping type stuff before I wrap up. There are several people who have been adding the class up through yesterday. The add deadline was yesterday. So if you fall into that boat, or maybe you just had trouble getting started, there's a little bit of a grace period here. everything should still be open until Thursday night. So if you missed something, you have a little bit of a grace period. This will not always happen, okay? But you can hop in and still get a good start on the course material. One thing I want to note on the essays, I will post a little recording for you so you can see how to use Turnitin. If your Turnitin score is higher than 15, you will get docked points. But if you turn it in and you notice that it's higher than 15 and you make some adjustments, and you can turn it in again and turn it in again as many times as you need to before the due date. At the due date, then I'll go in and look. Under the assignments in Turnitin portion, I'm actually really only looking at the Turnitin score. Sometimes I'll go in and look a little deeper. I'll make sure you have sources, but typically I'm just going to grade your essays on the actual discussion board because that's where the rubric is. I'm working hard trying to get the course people to move the rubric to the Turnitin part so that we can get it back to you faster, but as is, it's still with the discussion board. So if you notice that you forgot something, maybe you forgot to cite your source, maybe you forgot to do something else, just go in and add it in on the discussion board and I'll see it. That is the biggest thing on those discussion boards. People forget to cite their source, people forget to comment, and forget to come back to reply to comments. Those are the biggest ways to lose points, or doing those things you get perfect scores. As long as your essay is good. But right now I'm focused on, did you cite your source? Are you commenting? Are you replying? As we get into the later essays, I'll focus more on content. Sue, where do we see turn in results? I will post a little recording from one of our other BYU Idaho instructors that will tell you how to see those. I think maybe I'll post it with the recording for the class meeting, but I'll get that up before I go to bed tonight. Other comments that I missed? Let's see, I'm going to stop sharing my screen and come and join you guys again. If we aren't willing to be proven wrong, there's no point in testing it. Good point, Cameron. There's so much to science. There has to be so many sides. Finding right. Truth does not conflict with truth. I love it, Karen. Beautiful. Will you send me the source to that one? I might have to use that one. That's a good one. Donna Marie, if we aren't willing to be proven wrong, then we hold the belief that we know that we know all there is to know about the subject. We have no room for further learning, right? But we still need to learn, don't we? Okay. All right. Any questions or comments before we wrap things up? Thank you guys for being here.
Thank you.
Thank you.
How do we like Zoom compared to Adobe Connect?
We like it.
Well, now that I know that it's the phone number, then I should be okay.
Sorry for that tricky.
Something new to me.
What's that?
Something new to me, but it's great.
Good. And I have one or two people texting me who didn't get in, so I'll give them a call and hopefully we'll get that figured out. Oh, Karen, hopefully you get that figured out. All right, we're officially finished, so go ahead and feel free to leave if you need to leave. Feel free to stick around if you have questions. So this will typically be office hours where I'll just be like, okay, we're done with course material. Office hours, if you have questions, stick around. Okay. I'm gonna go ahead.
I'm familiar with this Turnitin. What exactly is